Hi, my name is Mark Biernot. I'm a monetary economist. This video is about Russia, economic life, daily life in Russia. What would I do if I was Russian? Now, most of my life, I've gone between Eastern Europe and America, and I'm actually doing PhD research in Eastern Europe. What I would do if I was, let's say, a guy in Russia right now, I would escape, get out. Economic advice. The best economic advice I can give you is escape. My grandparents did. It was 100 years ago, the same Russia it is today. The average lifespan for a male in Russia is in the 60s. In America, it's in the 80s. In Japan, it's like 86. There's some countries it's like 90. That's at birth. And I believe lifespan is a pretty good indicator of economic life quality. PPP in Russia, or, per capita GDP, first of all, you're going to be making about 14,000 US dollars a year. And you can say some things are cheaper, but on PPP, it's 72 in the world on the PPP index. So even with purchasing parity, you're going to be living a very difficult life in Russia. And I think you know that because all foreign goods, from iPhones to computers to anything, cars, they're all the same price, maybe even more. Probably have a VAT there or something that is really high. So you're not going to live a good quality of life in Russia. There's three economic, ideas in Russia. You've got St. Pete, Moscow, which is like District 1 Pan Am. You've got life in the towns and the cities. And you've got the countryside life. Countryside is the best. Towns and cities, it's like Blade Runner, some smoke coming out of some industrial Soviet smokestack with blue haze, benzoprine all over the air, just filling your lungs, just absorbing that benzoprine. And, this haze, a blue smoke, spray paint, blockies crumbling down. And maybe you have a, 30-meter flat, let's say 350 square feet flat with like this wobbly furniture and this, any kind of like cookware. It's just Teflon, super toxic. It's chipping away. You've seen pictures. So it's nothing great in terms of economic life. The only economic life you have is go to Pan Am, which is basically Moscow, St. Pete, the Metropolis. And then you've got some ideas and income flowing, or better yet, it's just escape. My life is great. Thank goodness my grandparents escaped. I'm surfing at the beach. I'm going to Disney. I'm just rocking it all the time on day trips, having a blast here in the United States. You don't want to live in the blue haze and the benzoprine of these post-communistic industrial cities. Countryside life is okay. 50% of the people in the countryside have indoor plumbing, so that's okay, right? And you can gather mushrooms in the woods, and that's your protein, and it is fun to gather mushrooms. That's high in protein, high in phosphorus. That's a pretty good life. But there's such low income, you're not going to have internet or anything. Maybe you'll have a cell phone. All the houses look like kind of shacks, dilapidated. I'd put it back in the I'd put Russian countryside life. So you're living in the 1800s in America or the countryside of Russia. Now, the Metropolis, everybody's apolitical. Nobody's going to church. I think it's like 3% church attendance. So there's no transcendence. Everybody's about just, try to go on that, circus wheel. In America, I feel like there's a little bit more community. There's a little bit more like, peace and love, and people are going to church and services, and they're really trying to be. In Russia, I think everybody's keeping their head down, being apolitical, living in the shadows because they're afraid of the government, and being very apolitical, which is worst thing you could ever be, because you want this make the world a better place. You want political change. You want geopolitical change. You want to make the world a better place. And the other thing in Russia, this huge hazard of being just snatched from the street and being conscripted or something. And, if you disagree with this portrait, put it in the comments below, because I want honesty, transparency. I want to make the world a better place. But the way I'm representing it now is that you've got probably 5 times the income. I looked at Boston in a Russian city on something called Numbrio. It's a pretty cool website. I think it's a Polish Google programmer who lives in Ireland created this website. Everybody puts their own data in. You've got 1,000%. It was just such an insane number. More salary in Boston than that Russian city. Okay, and yeah, I know PPP and all this, Big Mac Index, you can compare it, but I'm telling you, your economic life in Russia is not great, no matter what you believe or think. In the West, it's a lot of fun. There's two things in life, fun and unfun. Economic life in Russia, unfun. Economic life in the West and other countries, fun, okay? So, make an argument, make a statistical argument about per capita GDP, about PPP, about life expectancy, about opportunities that you have in Russia that you don't have in the West. If you're going to put something below and say it's so much better. Everybody's like, well, the debt to GDP ratio, I think these bots are hitting my channel. Debt to GDP, who cares, right? In Japan, they have the highest debt to GDP, and I do care. I'm a monetary economist. I'm fiscally frugal, want the gold standard. But they live like 86, almost 90 years old. In Russia, you're living in your 60s, okay? Like life expectancy, read my lips, are a good indicator of economic prosperity in day-to-day life. Every day, people talk about in Russia, they're just depressed because of the economic situation. All these YouTubers are showing you portraits of Russia, but it's not real because they're always showing you in the summer in the countryside and a glimpse. I could be there for maybe, a week or two at most on an agritourism idea, but my goodness, you live there day in and day out. It's super depressing, okay? Any Russian novels, read them. They're not exactly, light and breezy. And most of the classical novels are from times back. Yeah? So you want to live in Russia? Tell me why you want to live in Russia. I know literally millions of people have left Russia. A lot of friends and family, and a lot of friends that are Russian, they escaped. They're good people because they escaped. That's the best economic advice I can give to you if you're a Russian right now. Escape, okay? Then make the world a better place. Commit to making the world a better place. Stop this geopolitical nonsense and make the world a better place. But for your own personal safety and economic well-being, consider the life expectancy, the PPP, the McDonald's index, per capita GDP, any way you want to slice it. The economic day-to-day life in Russia is a quiet life of desperation. My name is Mark Bernot, and I'm a monetary economist. Have a great day. Thank you very much.